Arbitrary code execution. There are two ways to perform this code execution. There are two ways given in the application. The first one is to launch the code directly from third-party app, and the second one is second one is related to text libraries. Okay, so let's first analyze the code, analyze the application. Okay, so over here. The application has these two invoke plugin and invoke update method, so not method functionality over here. And first we will check the invoke plugin method. What basically my application does over here is it basically loads all the class. What are the packages name which are already stored in the context, in the cache. It basically uh, loads all the class name. So basically, and in that it specifically checks whether any of the installed packages has the package name, which is infosegadventures.allsafe.plugin, and whether this inf infosegadventure.allsafe.plugin package has any class name available. Uh, Plugin has this loader class name available or not. If my package name has this loader class name, then what my Allsafe application will gonna do? It will gonna retrieve the load plugin method. Okay, and since there is this new class defined as 0, this basically means that this load plugin method is a static method. Alright, and there is no, and in the invoke part, invoke is also null. That means there is no instance created for load plugin method. Again, that basically means that the load plugin should be um, or else the load plugin is a static method. So, and here is the error code. So if I go ahead and summarize this part, so basically what my application is doing, it will gonna check all the installed packages in the emulator or in the actual legitimate phone. Then later on, it will check whether this particular class is available, whether this particular package or particular application package is available in the Android phone or not. If yes, it is available, then my application will gonna load the loader class, and after loading the loader class, it will gonna retrieve or basically call the load plugin method. So here application, my also application is basically not at all validating the content of the third party application, or the not the third party, basically the content of this plugin, meaning anyone can create this infosec advantage.allsafe.plugin application, and they can try to perform the code execution. So let's check how we can do it. So let me create a new project, and the name should be suppose plugin. Okay, uh, Allsafe underscore plugin. But my package name should be this. Alright, alright. Yeah, for the minimum SDK, we can choose any. I'm gonna choose API 25 Android version 10. That's not an issue. And let's wait. I'm gonna pause the video for a couple of seconds. Okay, now let's proceed with creating the vulnerable or maybe the third-party plugin. How we can do that? For that, first, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a loader class. So for that, what I have to do, I have to create a new file, which the name should be loader.java, and I'm going to define the package. Package is infosec adventures.allsafe.plugin. Okay, and for the other stuff, I have already written the code, which is over here. I'm gonna just copy it and paste it right there. Okay, now the one thing which I'm getting a small highlight is this, the activity underscore loader. This means that I have to create a layout, and in that layout I believe I have to create the activity underscore loader XML file. Let's do that. Right click on the res, new, and create Android resource directory. Resource type should be layout, and click OK. And once the layout folder is created, again I have to right click on new and select the layout resource file. The name should be activity underscore loader. Okay, and this should be the case. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply drag and drop a small text file, small text view, I mean a small message over here, and this should say Allsafe plugin. Okay, like this. Can we maximize it? Yes, we can change, not maximize, we can change the font. Let me check is the font size available. Uh, Text size, yeah. Let me change the text size to quite big. Yeah, this should suffice. My attribute, and we are all set. Okay, this is done. Now next what I have to do, I have to add this loader.java in my manifest file. So for that, let me remove this. Then I have to close the application, and over here I have to define my loader activity as the main activity. For that, I will have to define the loader activity like this. Then I have to export this activity. Alright, and then later on I have to define the intent. Why I have to define this intent? Because in the intent only I will be able to define my action. So my current action Android name should be, this should be my main intent. Okay, and this should be suffice, and my category should be launcher category. Okay, so now we are done with manifest file. Let's build this. So first I'm gonna go ahead and click on clean, and let me do also one more thing. Let me change the icon because I don't want this green icon. I have to go on drawable and I have to click on here, and let me change the background. No, this, yeah, this will gonna work. So all done, and this all says plugin Android text. Let me add this part. Now it should work, and I'm gonna build it. Clean project. rebuild the project. Actually, we don't need to rebuild the project because our main goal is to get the Android APK. So for that, what we can do, we can simply click on Build App bundle and click on Build APK. So let's wait for a couple of seconds to complete this process. Okay, so all done. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create the APK. I mean, basically when I was building this application, my APK was already created, but still I'm gonna go ahead and create the APK. And the location of my APK should be available over here in this Allsafe plugin folder. I have to go to app, src, main, not in main, but in Android. Oh, sorry, not in src. My mistake. I have to go in build folder, output, apk, debug, and here is my application. Okay, now let me install this app. And this is how my application looks like. So my main objective is to execute this particular syntax. So I'm executing uname-a syntax, and whatever the output which I'm gonna get, it should be saved in the infosec-adventure.allsafe directory, meaning my Allsafe application is available over here, right? And my Allsafe application's entire directory or entire folder is located in this directory. And by default, any application is not at all allowed, any third-party application or any third-party user is not at all allowed to create any sort of file in any of the application's main directory, which in our case is this. But since my application, this also application has this arbitrary code execution vulnerability via this particular code, what we are doing, we are basically trying to execute the system syntax, which is uname-a, and redirecting all the output to the all saves main directory and creating a file. So let's see whether we did it or not. So there is a file.txt present. Let me quickly go to this location. Let me remove this for the moment. File.txt. Okay. And let's do it one more time. Okay. So first of all, what I have to do is I have to simply go to the app info and I have to force stop the application, my Allsafe application, and I have to clear all the cache and storage. Once it is done, now what I have to do, I have to reopen the Allsafe application and simply navigate to this part, this section, arbitrary code execution section. Okay, and now let's check. Yes, I have this file.txt available over here. So basically why I removed all the cache is because once the file has been successfully created, I have seen in my case that I was not able to recreate the application, recreate the file. That is, I was not able to re-execute the different syntax. So in order to execute the syntax, I mean in order to perform the code execution vulnerability, it is quite necessary to first go ahead and clear the Allsafe application's cache, and then we will not gonna get any sort of error. Okay, so let me quickly go to this directory, and there is a file.txt has been created, and yes, over here there is my output. Let me do one more thing. Let's just say who am I? Okay, and let me clean the project, and let me rebuild the app again. Let's do it one more time. So now we should get the whoami output in our applications directory. Let me uninstall this first. So stop and uninstall. And I'm gonna simply drag and drop it to install. Okay, now let's check. I mean, as for the moment, since I have changed the syntax over here and I have reinstalled the application, let's check whether the file.txt contains any updated data or not. Updated data as in UMA output, or whether it is still includes the previous syntax's output. So yeah, now I can see that the whoami's output has been simply stored in this file. That means I was able to perform the code execution vulnerability. Correct. But one thing which we have to notice is that my code execution, I mean the output of whoami, which was stored in the file.txt, was this, not this. This means that I'm not able to execute the syntax as a root user, but I'm able to execute the syntax as a normal user. Correct. That's why the content is this instead of this. Alright, thanks.